Hey everybody, it's Crystal and I'm back with Show Me the Money 9 episode 8 reactions. So 80% of the way there, 2 more episodes until we get to see the winner. So let's just jump right in. We start off on this episode with Team Kopal and they have Layone versus Mac Daddy for fighting over the mic basically to see who's gonna stay and who's gonna get eliminated. So we see Layone, he's actually friends with a rapper called Lee Yongji. They're really close. And she was just giving him some tips on what to do and how to practice. And throughout that, they were like showing some clips of Layone getting criticized by the judges and other contestants, I think, throughout the show. So we know that he has a lot going against him to really show what he has. Next, we see Mac Daddy, and he actually is friends with Juvie Train, who, if you guys remember, he got eliminated from this team earlier on. He was the one who was coaching Mac Daddy and giving him some tips and just like kind of talking with him. Next, we get to see who Team Kopal chooses, and they choose Layone, so that means Mac Daddy is eliminated. So going forward to Layone's stage, to me, it seemed like Layone was trying to suppress his usual dancing style. You know, he's usually all over the stage and like doing some weird side to side dance. He was, to me, I could kind of see him trying to not do that, which is what he was advised to not do, I think, or he himself was like, yeah, I'm not going to do that this time. So he didn't. So that was good. And overall, I thought he was doing well. They also had a Kugi featuring on this song, and I wasn't too sold on the Kugi featuring. I was kind of like, why was he on this song? What was the point? It's not really a song that couldn't have been done without Kugi, or a song that was just like, as soon as I hear it, I'm like, oh, that's a Kugi song. So I can't really endorse the Kugi featuring, but it's not that it was bad. I love Kugi, we all do. He performed great, but I'm just a really big proponent of having featurings that actually make sense and just tie the songs together perfectly. Like, as soon as you hear it, you're just like, the perfect finishing touch would be if I had this person. And when you think that in your head, that's who you put on that song. To me, the visuals weren't as striking as the visuals that we saw on the performances from last episode, but overall, I thought that was okay because this performance to me was more, I enjoyed it more than some of the other performances, and that's kind of like a theme throughout this episode. Overall, it was a nice and pretty stable performance. So in the first round of voting, Layone is actually facing Cow Guy, if you guys remember that from my last video. So this is his opponent, Layone. Layone won the first round of voting, but then Cow Guy won the second round of voting. So they're kind of at like a stalemate and like who's gonna win. So, but overall, Cow Guy ended up winning. So then it was Swings versus Untel, and we were gonna see their voting. I thought that I think I told you guys on the last episode that Untel had lost, and so he was going home. That is not the case. I didn't really actually understand the rules of this round at first. So, yeah, your team has to win overall. It can't just be one person from one team who wins and then you eliminate the one who loses. It's like an overall team thing. Yeah, I was kind of confused. Sorry about that. Anyway, so Untel versus Swings. I think Swings ended up winning overall in the voting. So that meant that Kopal team had to eliminate somebody, and that person ended up being Cow Guy. Cow Guy overall, he's cool, but I think we've seen all that he has in his arsenal at this point, so I was okay with him leaving. But I also definitely want to see more from Untel, and I told you guys that in my last video when I mistakenly thought that he got eliminated. So yeah, this is just like kind of a blessing in disguise because he ended up not being eliminated. So that means we do get to see more of him. So I'm excited about that. Yeah. So now we're gonna move on to Gary T and Just Groovy. So team Just Groovy goes shopping for clothes and then they go eat. Kundi Panda and Mush Venom got their mics up front. So that means that they don't have to compete against other people on the team to see who's gonna get the mic. They were just given their mics, and then the last 2 people on the team have to compete over it. That means that Munchman and Miranni will battle it out, and one of them is going to be eliminated if Team Just Groovy loses. Munchman and Miranni are also friends, which I did not know. The K-hip-hop scene is so small, and I already knew that, but this season is just making it even more apparent because there's these people who I've never even seen interact whatsoever, not even on the show, and they're just like, oh yeah, like we're super close friends, you know? And it's just like, what? I had no idea you guys even knew each other, but yeah, so it's just really hammering home the point of really how small the K-hip-hop scene is. So it's small, but it's even smaller than you think. So that's interesting. Anyway, overall, it turned out that Miranni got chosen over Munchman after everything was said and done. So she got to do the performance. Her song was Achu, and I really liked her outfit. I liked her hair, and I liked her overall visual effects on the stage. Her rapping really improved a lot from when I first saw her in the first few episodes because I thought she would have been gone a long time ago from what I saw based on the first episodes, but she really improved, and TM Just Groovy was really able to polish her up and help her, and she was taking that direction and practicing and helping herself get better. So she's been able to improve a lot. So I'm definitely proud of her, and I'm glad to see that improvement. Then she had a PH1 featuring on her song, and I thought that one made sense. I definitely thought he fit the song very well, and it was just a very good selection overall. So far, out of all the songs on this episode, Miranni's was my favorite song. So, oh, and just a little disclaimer, I have not heard all of the studio versions of these songs. For this video, I've only seen the performances one time while I was watching the episode. So yeah, at this point, Miranni was my favorite one, Achu. It was more catchy than every other song. The overall nice and cool vibe was definitely my style. They brought Ha-On from Higher Music as well onto the song as a featuring. And at first I was kind of skeptical. I was like, another featuring? What? That might be a bit overboard, but it turned out great. It worked fine. And they didn't take up too much space because that's the problem. A lot of the times in these final few rounds, they'll invite all of these featuring artists. And at the end, it's kind of like, okay, yeah, that was a great song, but it almost felt like the actual contestant was the featuring artist and it was their stage. So they kind of got carried by the featuring artist, which is never a good look ever, in my opinion. But I felt like the featurings actually complimented her and they didn't take too much away from her. She was still kind of able to be the star of the song. And so overall, it was her own song and it was pretty good. And also, I noticed this season that everybody's shouting out their eliminated members. And so I think that's just super cute. So, aw. So for the Geary T team, we got Chillin Homie versus Sky Minhyuk. And obviously, Lil Boi and Wonstein are on this team, so obviously they got their mics up front, which left us Sky Minhyuk and Chillin Homie. This team went out to eat as well, but let me tell you, I just have to say that Chillin Homie and Geary Boy looked so handsome in this scene. Like, oh my gosh, Chillin Homie, something about him in sunglasses and like a hat. I love him in sunglasses. Oh my god. And then and then Geary Boy, like he's weird, but he's handsome too. So it's like, you know. But anyway, I just had to say that. Anyway, enough fangirling. Back to the point. We had Minhyuk revising his lyrics like a bajillion times to make it right and make it up to par to be showcased on the show. So that's cool. Shout out to him. Then Chillin Homie, he starts talking to his CEO, which is Ravi from VIX. You know, they have this label called Groovy, and Chillin Homie is one of the artists on that label. So they were talking, and Chillin Homie's panic disorder started coming up in conversation. And so Ravi is like giving him advice and tips and things like that. If you guys remember on episode 6, I told you that Chillin Homie had a panic attack either during the freak performance or during the freak rehearsals. I can't remember if it was before the rehearsals, during the rehearsals, or before the performance. Yeah, the timeline is kind of shaky to me, but yeah, it happened. So that's one of the things that he's been dealing with on this show. So a few scenes after that, a lot of people are kind of like worried about Chillin Homie. You know, he hasn't showed up to practice. So people asked what happened, and Sky Minhyuk is like, oh yeah, he's been sick, so that's why he's not here today. But on the screen, they put up a text between the Show Me the Money staff and Chillin Homie, and basically he's been having a lot of trouble with his panic attacks. They've gotten so bad at this point that he's like passing out and stuff. So that's why he's been like MIA. I didn't know that they were to that extent. That's actually pretty extreme. So he actually ended up just dropping out of Show Me the Money because he needed to take care of his mental health first and foremost. He even said that they got so bad that he couldn't even remember the stuff that he was doing the day before. So that's pretty extreme symptoms for pretty much anything. Memory loss and passing out, that's pretty bad stuff. So anyway, like I said, he decided to drop out. And while I am sad to see him go, because obviously I'm a huge fan of him and I like to keep up with him and I want to see him do more stuff throughout the show because I feel like he could have gone farther. But unfortunately, because of this ailment that he's going through, he had to drop out because it's getting too bad. And if it's this bad, then it could have gotten worse. And we really don't want to see how much worse it could have got. And he probably doesn't either. So yeah, he had to take care of his health. So I'm glad that he's doing that. By the way, I've been keeping up with him outside of the show. I've been watching his Instagram lives and just like I follow him on Instagram. So I see him posting pictures and interacting with people, posting stories, all the things that you can do on Instagram. And he looks like he is doing pretty well right now. So that's good for him. I'm glad he's taking care of himself. So I hope to see what he puts out in the future. And I hope he is getting well and all of that. Because of that, Chillin Homie decided to basically give Sky Minhyuk the pass, the automatic pass by him dropping out. So Sky Minhyuk gets to perform in this round. And he again dedicates this song to Chillin Homie and says that he's going to do his best in honor of him. So cute. Anyway, he got a weird instrumental and there's so many things happening on this instrumental. So it definitely fits Minhyuk on that level. So we don't even know, even if this element didn't happen, like Sky Minhyuk still might have ended up winning just because of how weird this instrumental is. It fits him so well. He comes out with a lot of energy as usual. That's like one of his main strengths as a rapper and a performer. And there's also a Han Johan featuring, and there's also an Olunalen featuring. I hope I said that right. Overall, I'm not a big fan of the song, but I think it's a very good effort. So Miranni and Just Groovy had a backstage celebration when she won the most votes. That was pretty funny to watch. For some reason, they haven't been showing how funny Groovy Room is on this season. They've been kind of quiet and not getting that much screen time, but they're actually really hilarious. And so this is just like one of those moments that's funny. And if you don't know about Groovy Room that much, then maybe you should look up some of the videos that people have made of them on the internet because they're pretty funny to watch. But overall, like I said, Miranni, she won the first round, which is why they celebrated, but she won the rounds overall too. So I definitely agree with her winning both rounds. Then we get Kundi Panda versus Lil Boi. And I knew that it was going to be crazy. Kundi Panda said that he wants to do a hard song, so he chose Justice as his featuring artist. And so he was just going for a high impact type of song. And I think that he definitely achieved that. He has background dancers and he has lots of colors in his overall visuals and back on his stage backdrop. He has fire And his color scheme was red and blue. Kundi Panda represented red, and then Justice was blue. And naturally, with these two rappers on the song, the rapping was incredible. Probably the best, some of the best you've seen this season. Very high level of skill and technicality. So yeah, I think that's the biggest strength of this performance. Like, most people could not get a level of skill that they portrayed together in their performance. So that was definitely their strength. So then we go back to Lil Boi and we start seeing what he's doing. And his instrumental was like the polar opposite from Kundi Panda's. His was very laid back and vibey and chill, things like that. And we found out that Gary Boy and Lil Boi have been friends for over 10 years. So they went back to their old neighborhood where they used to live with like 3 other guys, 5 people in one apartment. And they were just talking and reminiscing back when they didn't have any money. And they were just making music and hanging out and stuff like that. So that's going to be the topic of their song. And Gary Boy is naturally going to be the featuring artist. So the stage comes up and his visuals, Lil Boy's visuals, are awesome. It was kind of like outer space, but then like there was a city too. So it's like, I don't know, maybe a city on like a different planet or something. I don't know. It was just really cool and neon and pretty, and I liked it. Overall, the song was really catchy and melodic. It was really simple, and there's a lot of singing. It was just pretty uplifting. So I expect that this song is probably going to be really popular and do well on the charts with the general public and all of that. If it isn't right now, then it probably was back when this episode came out, like 2 weeks ago. But yeah, there's a lot of skillful rapping as well as like the melodies and the singing and just the overall song. So I think that this song is just a well-rounded song overall. It has great rappers, it has a storyline, it has the visuals, singing, it's catchy, it's simple, melodic, so it's, yeah, like very well-rounded. There was also a Big Naughty featuring, and that was the perfect featuring for this song. That was well chosen and well thought out, so that's another plus to this performance. Everything in this performance just works. Like, so much about it is just so perfect and well thought out. This ended up being my second favorite song, but it's my #1 favorite performance on this round, on this episode. So once it comes to voting, Kundi Panda wins some of the voting, but overall Lil Boi ends up winning. So now it comes down to Mush Venom and Wonstein. And Mush Venom decides he wants to perform alone, and I agree with that. That's a great decision. Mush Venom kind of has like this dark and dramatic vibe for this performance. And he has dancers and lights and a drum and things like that. And overall, there's obviously a high level of rap skill and technique, and it's just really unique and just Mush Venom. So I'm glad that he chose not to have a featuring artist, because I think that would have kind of like taken away from him, because like, who's really gonna be able to match him? You know, he's one of those unique artists. So having a featuring artist would have definitely kind of made things weird. So then we go back to Wonstein and we start to see his process of making his song. And he meets with Zion T and they talk about how, surprise, surprise, they met each other before the show too. And Wonstein had actually given Zion T his demo outside of his house or something. They were showing pictures and video clips of Wonstein when he was younger, and I noticed he had straight hair. So I was just weirdly intrigued by this, because I wanted to know whether he had straight hair and then permed it to make it curly, or if his hair is curly and he used to perm it to make it straight, or use a straightening iron or something. I don't know. But Wonstein, you need to tell us, are you a curly hair head person, or are you a straight hair head person? I want to know. I'm weirdly intrigued by this now. I'm invested in this. Anyway, but back to the point. When his performance comes, he comes out singing, and it's great. It's great content. He has such a sweet voice. Also, his instrumental was like very fluttery and dreamlike and things like that. Very nice. And overall, I just felt like it was very artistic and like I don't know, just artistic. I randomly started thinking about this art style, and it's called Rococo, Rococo. And the way that that art style looks is the way that this music, this song that he was making, sounded to me, if that makes sense. So I've actually never had that experience when listening to music, but I just thought it was interesting. It was very weird, but in a good way. If you guys don't know that art style, then please go look it up. It's known for being like dream-like looking and not realistic. So go look that up. But anyway, I thought this was a great song. I thought it was a great performance, very unique, very artistic, and I liked it. It was like one of my favorite performances, probably my third favorite, the song and the performance, but it was very good. So anyway, Mush Venom and Wonstein ended up being a great match because they ended up both doing something very unique and that I don't think anybody else could have done a performance like that. So they ended up being very evenly matched. But in the end, Mush Venom beat out Wonstein in the votes. So overall, just Groovy won that round. So that means that somebody from Gary T's team is going to get eliminated. So obviously it's the Sky Minhyuk because, okay, who are you going to eliminate? Lil Boi, Wonstein, or Sky Minhyuk? Sky Minhyuk had to go, so that was that. But next episode, we have the semifinals. And from here on out, I just want to let you guys know that for episode 9 and 10, I'm going to focus mostly on the songs. Well, it's probably going to be like a purely song reaction just because time is running out. It's actually 10 p.m. PST on Wednesday, and Show Me the Money, the final episode airs on Friday at like 7 or 8 a.m. So I'm trying to get these videos out, and I'm gonna have to do this pretty fast. This video probably isn't coming out until Thursday. I'm going to schedule it to premiere at like 10 a.m. So if you're watching this right now and it's 10 a.m., like, I told you, I knew it. But yeah, so like I said, those are just going to be song reviews. Thanks for watching. I hope you guys watch my episode 9, episode 10 videos, which will be coming out very soon. So again, thank you, and please like, subscribe, and comment down below if you would like to. And have a nice day or night, and bye. See you next time.